Being counted, the votes tabulated, and it is now a waiting game to see who'll be the winner of the seats that could influence our local, state, and national races on this election night. We are, of course, one of several key battleground states. Our highly coveted 15 electoral votes have not yet been assigned. Both Trump and Harris are neck and neck here, but that may change overnight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Dominiani.
And I'm Jessica Hardhorn. The most important race of the night is for the president. Former President Donald Trump is making his third shot at the White House, while Vice President Kamala Harris is looking to fill that seat as well. And several states have already been called for either Harris or Trump. This is a live look at the race to 270 electoral votes. At this time, Harris has 91 to Trump's 207. Michigan has 15 electoral votes. Right now, Trump has a lead in our state with 50% of the votes, with 26% of precincts reporting. And a race we're keeping a very close eye on tonight is Michigan's U.S. Senate seat. It's a seat that's being left vacant by longtime Senator Democrat Debbie Stabenow.
Our first ever female U.S. Senator. The race now between current U.S. Representative, former CIA analyst, Democrat Alyssa Slotkin, and former U.S. Representative, Army Lieutenant, FBI agent, Republican Mike Rogers. For that Senate seat right now, Rogers has just taken a statistical lead. With the 17% of precincts reporting in, he has 50% of the vote to Alyssa Slotkin's 47%. She had been winning up till just a few minutes ago.
And tonight we have a team of reporters covering those major races. We begin with Autumn Pitcher, who's joining us live in Detroit at Slotkin's watch party. Autumn?
Yes, we are in the Motor City Casino right now with a full room of supporters for Representative Slotkin. Now, those supporters have been waiting hours for her to take to the stage. We originally heard she was going to speak before this race was called, and now it's looking like it may be after. Now, whoever wins tonight will replace Democratic U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow. She's held that seat since 2001, and it's a tight race between Slotkin and her opponent, Mike Rogers. Democrats want to keep this seat blue because right now they have majority control of the United States Senate. We spoke to supporters for Slotkin.
So I came with another group of clergymen from Flint area. We just want to come to represent the city of Flint and have a good time tonight. We're excited about the possibilities of the Democratic Party taking over Michigan and the United States, and we just wanted to be here to celebrate.
Now, U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow did speak earlier, showing her share of support for Representative Slotkin, backing her and saying that she hopes she takes over her seat as the next U.S. Senator. Now, we will, of course, keep a close watch on this race as it is called. Live in Detroit, Autumn Pitcher, News Channel 3.
All right, Autumn, thank you so much. Tyler Brummett here in Novi right now as we continue to watch this race. This is where there are supporters for former Congressman Mike Rogers cheering him on. They're hoping that he gets a big win tonight. As we heard Andy and Jessica mention, again, he has a slight lead right now. But again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on things. We've really felt a shift in the energy within the past few minutes. I do want to show you some video right now. Take a good look at your screen. Earlier tonight, former Congressman Mike Rogers taking the stage to thank his supporters. He's ran a campaign that's been focused on the economy, the U.S. southern border, as well as crime. Rogers says he feels like his campaign is in a good spot, but he also told the crowd he expects it to be a long night.
Don't pay attention to the precincts in and the precincts out. That thing's going to bounce around all night long. The most important number is at the end of the night, and I do believe this is going to be a nail-biter.
And as we've told you, this seat has been controlled by the Democrats since 1994, so if Rogers does win, that'll be a big deal and perhaps could play a really big role in the national makeup of the U.S. Senate. Of course, we're going to be here throughout the night into tomorrow morning to bring you the very latest both on air and online. For now, we're live in Novi. Tyler Brummett, News Channel 3.
Autumn and Tyler, thanks so much. Taking a look now at the current balance of power in the Senate. Right now, the Democrats hold a slim majority of 51 to 49. 34 seats are up for re-election. As you take a look at this map right here, it looks like Democrats have 39 seats to Republicans 48 seats at this hour. We move now to the races for Michigan's U.S. representatives.
And we begin with U.S. House District 4, or MI4. which covers Allegan and Van Buren counties, along with parts of Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Berrien, and Ottawa counties, notably the cities of Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. Incumbent Republican Bill Huizenga running to be reelected against Democratic Attorney Jessica Schwartz of Kalamazoo. 9% of precincts reporting in. 71% of the vote going to incumbent Bill Huizenga, 28% at this early hour for Jessica Schwartz. Our live election coverage continues now with News Channel 3's Colin Roos.
And he joins us live at Heritage Hall on the campus of Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo. Colin?
That's right. Republican Bill Huizenga is currently in the lead as the votes are being counted for Michigan's 4th congressional district. He is up against Democrat Jessica Schwartz, who is a public interest attorney. Now, Huizenga is a current small business owner and former state legislator and says that economics are a big focus for him in Congress. He says that the national debt is out of control, and more locally, he wants to make sure that rural areas have the access they need to banking and insurance. Now, meanwhile, Schwartz is concerned that a nationwide abortion ban will be passed in Congress. She has pledged to support a bill to protect access to contraception and IVF. And she also wants to begin a transition to renewable energy to help preserve the resources of Lake Michigan. Now, we are checking in on those results for the 4th district as well as the 3rd district, which covers Grand Rapids and Muskegon. So stay tuned for that. Live in Kalamazoo, Colin Roos, News Channel 3.
Colin, thank you. There were 2 other U.S. House races that we're watching closely tonight. District 3 includes parts of Kent, Ottawa, and Muskegon counties. Right now, Democrat Hillary Scholten has the lead at 58%, Paul Hudson trailing at 39%.
And U.S. House District 5 covering parts of St. Joseph, Kalamazoo, Calhoun counties, all the way east to Monroe, all of the Indiana and Ohio border counties. Republican incumbent Tim Walberg hoping to keep his seat in Congress, being challenged tonight by Democrat Libby Urban. 29% of precincts reporting this seems to be a runaway for Tim Walberg, 70% to 28%. Again, this is still early, but he does have a commanding lead. And a look at the balance of power in the U.S. House of Representatives right now. Republicans do hold the majority, however, narrowly, with 220 seats, while Democrats have 212. At this point, the Republicans have more at 156 to the Democrats 105. But of course, we're only halfway there, and those numbers will update soon tonight.
A windy and rainy election night across West Michigan. Right now, you're taking a live look at conditions over downtown Kalamazoo. Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson is in the Weather Alert Center tonight with a look at the forecast. Lots of folks bringing their umbrellas to the polls.
You bet. It was a wet day today. For the most part, morning showers, afternoon a bit of a lull, this evening rain, and that's about to come to an end. That'll set us up for mostly cloudy skies on Wednesday in 15 seconds. I'll tell you more about your Wednesday Fastcast.
Hi, I'm Abby Vandenberg with Maple Hill Subaru. Subaru is rated #1 in safety, product quality, and quality for the price by ACSI. We have our largest selection of Subarus on lot and ready for delivery. Maple Hill Subaru, for quality like no other.
It's been a wet night tonight in West Michigan, but those showers are starting to move out, although in Battle Creek and Marshall and Albion, stretching down to Coldwater and Sturgis and Three Rivers, the rain's still coming down there. But as we put this into motion, you see the back edge is now starting to pull through West Michigan. That trend will continue overnight. Here's another trend that will be developing overnight. It's going to be getting cooler. Right now, still very mild for this time of night, this time of year. To be in the 60s is well above what's typical. Watching our wind arrows, because whenever they shift from southwest to west, then we know that cooler air is going to be moving in. It's just now starting to take place, and it will certainly happen overnight. So here's your school bus forecast for Wednesday. Off to school with cloudy skies and cooler air than we've had lately at 50 degrees. In the afternoon, mostly cloudy. There could be a spot of sun. Sweater cool with a high of 57. More sun ahead to the end of the week, and then a mixed weekend. I'll have that part of the weather report coming up. Jessica.
Keith, thank you. Well, this could be a historic election in terms of voter turnout. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benton says the highest turnout was in 2020 when 5.5 million Michiganders voted. She says even before today, 3.3 million people voted early or cast absentee ballots. Benton also says that we should see results earlier this year than in 2020.
The biggest determining factor of that will be the closeness of the race that we do expect results to be in sooner than they were in 2020, which was midday on Wednesday.
Benson also says there are around 7,000 military and overseas voters, and those ballots can be returned up until Monday or Tuesday of next week if they're postmarked by Election Day. Well, more numbers are coming in for Michigan's House seats.
We're watching a couple coming in from Southwest Michigan. District 40 covering the Kalamazoo area, Democrat Matt Longjohn and Republican Kelly Sackett both running for that position in the state house. We have no numbers to report in yet on that. Our team coverage continues now with News Channel 3's Princess Johnny Steverson, who's been watching this race. She joins us live at Portage City Hall. And Princess, you've been learning more about the candidates running for the 40th State House District, even though we have no returns yet.
That's correct, Andy. And what I've learned about the two of them is that they're both really good at knowing how to care for people. For example, Republican opponent Kelly Sackett, she is a stay-at-home mom for her two sons. She also does a lot of community and volunteer work in the area. And then you have Democrat Matt Longjohn, who teaches physician courses at WMed and says if elected, he will increase minimum wage after a ballot initiative of policies was dismissed by state Republicans back in 2018.
It's about implementing them now that the state Supreme Court has determined that the Republican Party did stuff that was unconstitutional.
I tried reaching out to Kelly Sackett to hear how she'd like to lower the price of gas and groceries in the area, but I've yet to hear back from her. Reporting live in Portage, Princess Johnny Steverson, News Channel 3.
All right. Thank you, Princess. To State House District 44, which covers Calhoun County. Democratic incumbent Jim Hadsma, Republican Steve Frisbee. This race is critical in the state legislature as it could shift majority power if Frisbee is to win.
Now let's take a look at the open seat in the state house for District 42. This covers a big part of Kalamazoo County. As you can see right there, it looks like Austin Marsman is in the lead with 55% of the vote. Matt Hall trailing at 45% with 3% of precincts reporting.
News Channel 3's Carter Landis joining us live with more on that race after speaking with both candidates. Of course, Matt Hall, the minority leader in the state house at this point, Carter.
Yeah, that's right, Andy. Matt Hall is that minority leader in that House. He's held that position since 2019, or he's held the House seat since 2019, and earned the minority leader position in 2023. And Marsman says no matter how the results turn out, he's proud of the effort he and his team have put in. Now, Hall is focused on topics like economic development in Southwest Michigan. Education and cost of living are important to him as well. Marsman is focusing on things like the environment, improving public safety, and the economy. And we caught up with Marsman just a while ago, and here's what he had to say.
Taking those concerns to Lansing means taking people's stories, the stories that I've collected as I've been on the trail, and making sure their voices are represented in the halls of power. And I think that's the most powerful thing, is a representative who truly shows up and listens.
We are waiting on a statement from Matt Hall's team, and once we receive that statement, we will be sure to pass it along to you. Live in Kalamazoo, Carter Landis, News Channel 3.
Carter, thank you. Taking another look at an open seat in the state house, District 41 covering Kalamazoo, Plainwell, and Otsego. And right now, Democrat Julie Rogers, that is, against Terry Haynes. Still no results at this hour.
And our election night coverage here on News Channel 3 continues right after this quick break as we leave a quick look at the state Supreme Court races.
You're watching News Channel 3 with Andy Dominiani, Jessica Harthorn, Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson, and Andy Pepper with sports.
Welcome back to News Channel 3 live at 11. The results are continuing to roll in from coast to coast.
Yeah, former President Republican Donald Trump, Vice President Democrat Kamala Harris looking to secure that 270 electoral vote total to win. Whoever does will win the Oval Office. Here's a look at the map from the Associated Press. Things are looking more even now with Donald Trump at 211 projected electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 145. You can see many of the traditionally red states going to Donald Trump, while the urban centers, especially in the Northeast, predictably going to Kamala Harris. The battlegrounds aren't in yet.
And taking another look at Michigan's U.S. Senate seat at this time, it's very close. Mike Rogers now in the lead with 50% of the votes. Alyssa Slotkin at 47% with 20% of precincts reporting. Well, there's certainly a lot of information coming in right now.
Here to help us analyze the results is Dr. John Clark, the chair of the Political Science Department at Western Michigan University. We always appreciate your time and your insight on these important nights, John. As you look at that electoral map, you and I have been chatting. No big surprises there, but boy, those 7 battlegrounds, we heard they were going to be important. They certainly are. It looks like Donald Trump has a narrow lead in all of them at this early juncture, but it isn't just a numbers game. It really is about geography, isn't it?
That's right, Andy. As we see the numbers continue to come in Michigan as well as in these other states, it isn't just about what percentage of the vote is in, but where does that vote come from? For instance, if we're looking at the Michigan totals, as we've been here at the studio, so far almost no votes have been reported from Wayne County. Until Wayne reports, we don't really know what's going to happen in Michigan. And so it's hard to be patient. It's hard to wait, but it turns out it is a waiting game.
And John, the balance of power in the U.S. Senate, razor thin. Right now, currently, Democrats hold it 51-49 majority. Republicans need only to flip either 1 or 2 states to regain control. And of course, one of the races that may flip is that soon to be vacated seat held by longtime Democrat Debbie Stabenow. What are your thoughts on the race at this point?
You know, we've seen so much attention on this race here in Michigan and so much money pouring in from the outside. Because when the Senate is as evenly divided as it has been for the last several years, every seat matters. And so when there's an open seat with no incumbent, there's a greater opportunity for each side to think they have a chance to win. That race, I think, is going to track pretty close to the presidential race here in Michigan. But again, until all the votes are in and we know for sure, we won't know.
This election, John, the last question, is different in many ways, of course. We have a returning president, an incumbent vice president. He would be the oldest president ever to be elected. And all the early voting, although that certainly didn't translate into early results, did it?
No, it didn't. But here in Michigan, with the option of early voting being added and the increase in the availability of absentee voting for Michigan voters, I think we're likely to see pretty heavy turnout. I think we're likely to see folks who try these new systems of voting who say, hey, that's pretty good. On election day, I never know what's going to happen. I could get sick. My kids could get sick. The boss could give me an assignment as I was walking out the door. But if I can vote earlier or if I can vote by mail, that gives me a lot more opportunities. I think what we're finding, at least here in Michigan in this first time out, is that folks like the early voting option.
And John, it looks like we could break a record here too in Michigan with voter turnout, but we will see about that. Thank you so much for your time and expertise tonight.
Always a pleasure.
We're watching some rain move across West Michigan, eventually moving out, but right now it's left the streets wet in Vicksburg. We say hello, Vicksburg. Looking downtown live, thanks to the village of Vicksburg for the view. Still a few sprinkles showing up in southern Kalamazoo County on live Doppler radar. Sturgis to Coldwater, Battle Creek to Marshall, all the way up I-69 to Lansing, still seeing these showers, but they'll be moving out overnight. Temperatures are still much warmer than average. For this time of night to be in the low 60s, well above average. But overnight, the rain will be ending. It'll be turning cooler. 50 degrees to start the day tomorrow. And then for tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies, cooler with a high of 57 degrees. Not as windy tomorrow. More sun ahead Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with a chance for some showers on Sunday. Jessica?
All right, Keith, thanks so much. And our election night coverage continues next with a look at the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's race. Stick around.
Sounds good. Yes, check, check, check. Welcome back. Election night. Kalamazoo.
And welcome back to our election night coverage here on News Channel 3. We're glad you're with us. We are turning our attention now to Kalamazoo County.
And there are three big races that we're watching very closely tonight, including the race for Kalamazoo County Clerk, Treasurer, and Sheriff. We begin with the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's race, and we just got the numbers in only moments ago. It looks like Captain James Sharon is in the lead, the Republican with 54% of the vote, trailed by Richard Fuller at 46% of the vote.
And these numbers are far from final. The night is still young. News Channel 3's Mackenzie Decker joining us live in studio with more on both candidates running for sheriff. Mackenzie.
Yeah, that's right, Andy. Jessica, we've been keeping a close eye on this race tonight and waiting to see who will be named the Kalamazoo County Sheriff for the next 4 years. Sheriff Fuller said if reelected, he will focus on strengthening programs that his office has developed over the last 16 years with a heavy focus on gun violence.
We're always anxious, just waiting for the evening to go on so we can hear the counts, hear some numbers. We did a really good campaign this time. We made sure that thousands of doors were knocked. We made sure our voice was heard in many different places.
Captain Sharon said it's time for new leadership with new policies and programs to address crime levels, mental health, and drug addictions. While unable to speak in person, he did make a statement about the election, saying, quote, "I am very excited about the turnout and the support from the community. I felt more confident as the day and voting progressed." We'll continue following this race as it unfolds and, of course, bringing you the most up-to-date information as results are announced. Live in studio, Mackenzie Decker, News Channel 3.
Mackenzie, thanks so much. In the race for Kalamazoo County Clerk, Republican Kathleen Olmstead, as you can see right there, she has 59% of the vote, and incumbent Democrat Meredith Place has 41% of the vote.
And the race for Kalamazoo County Treasurer, Republican Dale Sugars running against incumbent Democrat Thomas Whitener. Dale Sugars taking 61% of the vote to Thomas Whitener's 39%. And in other news, Associated Press just calling battleground state North Carolina for Donald Trump. Our election night coverage continues next with a final look at the presidential race.
The vote's still coming in at this hour, and we're keeping a close eye on the results.
Let's take a quick look at the presidential race right now, which has just updated. You're looking at live Associated Press coverage of the Electoral College map. Donald Trump has taken North Carolina as the projected winner, although that's not reflected on this map. 211 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 145. According to this map, Trump is leading in Michigan, 52% of the vote, with 32% of precincts reporting in. Now, they are both very, very tight in all battleground states. But once again, just minutes ago, Associated Press did call North Carolina for Donald Trump.
Taking another look at Michigan's U.S. Senate seat, as this time right here, Mike Rogers in the lead, 51% of the vote. Alyssa Slotkin trailing at 46%, 22% of precincts reporting.
Much more election coverage coming up for you. And a look now at the Electoral College vote tally for president again. And Donald Trump, now this is reflecting the new information. He is 40 electoral votes away from the required 270 to win back the White House. Kamala Harris at this point has 187 projected electoral votes, but 6 of 7 battleground states are still up for grabs. And of course, that includes Michigan.
And we will continue to follow this very closely overnight. You can always go to our website, WWMT.com, for those results.
Tomorrow, we're going to see mainly cloudy skies. The showers that we have been having today and continue to have tonight, they'll be ending overnight. And it will be getting cooler too, but predominantly cloudy. We start off right around 50 degrees. Tomorrow's high will be around 57, so it's going to be quite a bit cooler. But as you see, that is quite a bit closer to what's typical for this time of year. There'll be more sunshine developing for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 really nice-looking days and a little bit warmer than average yet again. Our next best chance for rain, not that we necessarily need it right now because, of course, it's soggy, will be Sunday when we are in the mid-60s.
Warmer than average. I like the sound of that.
We would normally say goodnight to you, but tonight we'll be up late with you on this election night as we watch for the returns coming in. At this point, we don't know yet which way our state will go.
Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
I'll see you back here in 25 minutes on News Channel 3. And as always, stay up to date on election returns on our website, WWMT.com.
This is a News Channel 3 election update. This is a News Channel 3 election update. This is a News Channel 3 election update.
I have to say it's bittersweet tonight. It's been such
drilled on by Kamala Harris in this campaign. I think you make a really important point, and two voters come to mind when you make that analysis. There was a voter in the New York Times.
You're watching News Channel 3, coverage of election 2024.